In the universe of The Big Bang Theory, where black holes of sarcasm and bursts of awkward genius collided weekly, one star consistently hovered in the background, dimly glowing, often overlooked, yet undeniably intriguing. Stuart Bloom, the lanky, soft-spoken owner of the local comic book store, may not have had Sheldon's IQ, Leonard's love life, or Howard's NASA badge. But 12 years ago, in one quiet, overlooked episode, the show proved that Stuart didn't just belong. He could carry a show of his own. Let's rewind to Season 6, Episode 4, The Re-Entry Minimization. On the surface, it was a classic Big Bang episode. Jokes, hijinks, science references. But buried within was a storyline that subtly shifted the lens to Stuart. Howard had just returned from space, Bernadette was adjusting to his astronaut-induced ego, and while the main gang navigated their drama, Stuart filled in an important gap. In this episode, and several others around that time, we saw Stuart do more than just lurk behind comic book shelves. He hung out with the gang, joined board game nights, and even became a pseudo-roommate at Howard's mother's house. He was depressed, yes, and financially struggling, but his dry humor, awkward honesty, and soft kindness added a new frequency to the show's usual laugh track. That's when it became clear. Stuart wasn't just comic relief. He was a mirror. A character through which we could see all the others, and ourselves. Imagine, then, a world where Stuart got his own spin-off. Let's call it Stuart Bloom, Uncanny Tales. Episode 1. The last customer fade in. The comic book store is silent. A "Help Wanted" sign dangles crookedly in the window. Stuart, sipping reheated coffee in a Hellboy mug, scrolls through his bank app, $47.13 to his name. Enter Kevin, a wide-eyed 10-year-old with a backpack covered in X-Men patches. "You sell Pokemon cards?" he asks. Stuart perks up. "A customer. A real, living customer. Kid, I sell dreams. And overpriced booster packs. You're in the right place." The show kicks off from here, not with explosions or laugh track overloads, but with the quiet, persistent resilience of a man who lives on the fringe. A man who once drew graphic novels before bills and life and loneliness pulled him off course. A man who, despite all, still believes that stories matter. Stuart's world expands in The Big Bang Theory. Stuart's loneliness was often played for laughs. He couldn't get a date. He lived with Howard's mom. He sometimes spoke like he'd given up. But if you really listened, there was something raw in his delivery. Something real. That emotional core, that's TV gold when done right. In Stuart Bloom, Uncanny Tales, we meet his regulars: Kevin, the precocious comic book protege; Linda, a middle-aged schoolteacher rediscovering her geeky side after divorce; Omar, a former tech worker turned aspiring comic artist. The cast reflects different walks of life, united by stories, panels, and fandom. Stuart's store becomes a safe haven. Not just a shop, but a third place, and Stuart, ever reluctant, becomes its unlikely heart. Season arc. The blooming of Bloom. Every great character-driven sitcom needs an arc. Stuart's rediscovery. Through Kevin, he starts drawing again, first sketches, then full pages. Through Linda, he remembers how to connect with someone not through sarcasm, but through genuine conversation. Through Omar, he learns how to mentor. And with the occasional visit from Raj, Howard, or even Sheldon. Cue a glorious cameo where Sheldon critiques Stuart's artistic anatomy in excruciating detail. We see the connective tissue to the original universe. But Stuart's journey is different. It's quieter. There's no Nobel Prize or epic romance or massive life transformation. Instead, it's about a man learning that being in the background doesn't mean you're not the hero of your own story. Flashback episode. The Lost Panel. One standout episode rewinds time to Stuart's art school days. We see a younger, vibrant Stuart, full of dreams. He had a comic called Grim Bunny, a noir rabbit detective fighting crimes in a dystopian world. It almost got published, almost. That, almost, still haunts him. In the present, Kevin finds an old copy and asks why he gave up. Stuart, at first, deflects. The world didn't need another talking bunny with a trench coat. But as the episode unfolds, we understand. He was afraid. A failure. Of not being good enough. Of not being seen. And isn't that something many of us feel? That's what makes a Stuart spin-off resonate. It's not a fantasy of genius like Sheldon's. It's not the rom-com tension of Penny and Leonard. It's the story of a man who failed, who got back up, and who learned that maybe the little victories, keeping the store open one more day, inspiring one more kid, are heroic, too. Why it would have worked, then and now 12 years ago, audiences were already warming to shows with heart over hype. Parks and Recreation was hitting its stride. Community was redefining what ensemble comedy could be. Stuart's awkwardness and melancholy could have added a uniquely gentle voice to the TV landscape. And in today's era of meaningful, character-driven dramedies, Ted Lasso, Reservation Dogs, The Bear, Stuart's story feels more relevant than ever. He's not the butt of the joke, he is the joke, sometimes, but more often, he's the setup. The slow burn. The guy who holds the punchline too long and makes you think, that's powerful. Legacy and speculation. While the Stuart spinoff never happened, its spiritual potential remains. In 2023, when young Sheldon ended and Georgie and Mandy's first marriage emerged, fans began wondering, what if the next Big Bang Universe show took a chance again? What if it wasn't about science, but about stories, about the quiet art of connection? Stuart's comic book store remains a setting rich with storytelling power. It's a modern-day Cheers, a geeky Central Perk, a place where everyone knows your GPA and your favorite superhero arc. And Stuart, he's still there, sketching in the back, brewing terrible coffee, waiting for the next kid to ask, "You ever draw comics?" He smiles. "I used to, but maybe it's time I started again." Final panel. Black screen. The sound of a pencil scratching paper. A single panel fades in. Grim Bunny, trench coat fluttering in the wind, standing on a rooftop. Caption: some heroes wear capes. Others sell them. Fade out. Would you like a mock episode script, character profiles, or even a concept poster next?